Heads up, we are tracking a potential, yes, a potential nor'easter for January 18th and 19th, 2026. I'm meteorologist Andrew Markowitz, and here's what you need to know. First things first, we have a big time pattern change on the way as a strong Arctic front moves through on Thursday and will bring significantly colder temperatures to the eastern U.S. Taking a look at our large scale pattern, the main feature that sets this into motion is a big area of high pressure over Alaska and western Canada. This is known as the negative phase of the Eastern Pacific Oscillation, and that ridge is able to filter all the way down to the west coast of the U.S. This yields a strong upper level trough over the eastern U.S., which means that cold air will be filtering in from Canada, and there is potential for a storm to develop. With this storm, there are two primary players on the field. One is an area of low pressure emerging from the southeast, and another is a secondary wave that develops over the upper Midwest. According to the European model, the northern storm is the stronger of the two. In this scenario, some snow is possible on the southeast coast, otherwise it's a miss out to sea. However, on the GFS model, you can see that there is clearly more separation between the two systems. This forces our trough to dig deeper and become stronger, which means that the southern storm would be dominant in this case. In this case, as depicted, we would see a major snowstorm for the entire East Coast. Another key player that will determine the track of the storm is this area of high pressure off of the Canadian Maritimes. If that high is stronger and or displaced more to the west, it would allow our storm over the southeast to track closer to the coast and therefore favor a bigger hit. This is a pretty tricky setup with several moving pieces, but if everything comes together, which again I'd say is a fairly low probability, then yes, the potential with this is pretty high. The goalpost with the storm would be anywhere from a complete whiff out to sea where nobody gets really anything to a major snowstorm for the coast, including perhaps the I-95 big cities. That's not impossible. Now, as I showed earlier in the video, today's GFS obviously went crazy with a major snowstorm, but I do want to make it clear that that is currently an outlier, and earlier today even it showed a storm out to sea. At this point, my inclination, my gut feeling would be to bet against that idea and instead go with the weaker storm, which is pretty much following the seasonal trend and I think is supported by the upper level pattern. Ensemble models show that accumulating snow is in play for the entire East Coast from Maine through the I-95 big cities, even into the deep south. Within that, the highest probabilities are depicted in eastern North Carolina to southeastern Virginia. At this point, we are firmly in wait and see mode. I think we have to wait for that first storm, that first Arctic front to leave before we have a better idea of what's going to happen. You guys know I'm a straight shooter. I'm never going to hype things up unnecessarily, but this one I think has potential to become interesting. Also, another interesting thing about the timing, these guys, the Patriots, host the Texans on Sunday afternoon. Could a snow game be in play? I think that's certainly a possibility. For more updates on this potential storm and other winter weather all around the world, please make sure to follow me on all social media platforms so you can stay weather aware.